So let's do another video log. I'm at the tail end of Grand Avenue yet again. And over there, a bunch of hens. It's Friday the 16th of October. We are about 3 weeks out from closing on the house, just a little less than 3 weeks. We are about 5 hours out from getting word on an offer that we put in for a home out in Idaho, in Kuna. And this is the hurry up and wait sort of phase. It's funny because we have these hard deadlines, and then after the hard deadlines have been hit, we get a bit of respite. But we're still all keyed up from all the work that we had to do to, hit our deadlines. Let's see, can I switch this? It's a very interesting time in our lives. Frozen strawberries, courtesy of the school district. Thank you, school district. That is a way pretty view. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but there is a big airstream up there at the top of that smaller hill. It's something shiny. I remember hearing from somebody a few years back that it's an airstream. The guy's like either an engineer or a vet or something like that. And he lives up there. The old Santa Clara River right there. So it's 101 degrees today, and it's windy. The Santa Ana winds are blowing. I've been so inactive during this time of working from home. It's not been healthy. It's hard to keep on a sleep schedule. Being forced to go to work away from home is very easy when you take it as a foregone conclusion. But if you're not careful, and you know that all you have to do is go into the next room and log in, then it's easy to decline to do that necessary prep beforehand and just say, "Oh, I'll grab my coffee after I log in," or I'll just roll out of bed and sign in. But anyways, I've been battling keeping that routine up. Whenever I get off track, I feel crummy. Whenever I get back on track, I feel 100 times better, physically and mentally. It's easy to keep morale up when you follow through on what you know you need to do and all that. So we may or may not get this house in Kuna that we're putting an offer in on. I think if we do, it's going to be God's sign that He has blessed our decision, that it was actually His decision in the end. If we get a pass, I'm at peace with continuing to look for other homes. There seem to be no small number of new homes coming up, and because we have flexibility on price, we have options. But yeah, trying to keep the morale up at home. Hannah's a little bit more somber than the others, and not to say she's really particularly sad. I mean, her spirits are up, but every so often she's like me, she gets sentimental. I thought this was going to be thawed by the time I got out here. It's not. I have no good way of eating it. this coming week will be the first week that we're allowed back inside of the church to celebrate Mass. It's been 7 months or whatever, about 7 months since the state has allowed us. They didn't even forbid it. The bishops have just decided, diocese by diocese, we're going to follow the recommendations. Not a single bishop made an independent decision to keep his diocese open in the state of California. There are so many things that reinforce our decision to move. And they come up left and right, and it really just confirms in my mind that what we're doing is the right thing. They're not just insignificant things. I mean, some people might look at that sort of a thing, the closures of the actual church buildings and all that stuff, forbidding reception on the tongue, which I'm glad that a lot of priests have decided to kind of do their do their priestly duty and never forbid it. It's in the canon law. I'm not sure where, but I've heard from a number of different people. It's in the canon law. You cannot forbid a communicant from receiving on the tongue or kneeling. So anyways, but I think some Catholics might look at this decision by the bishops and go, well, they're just trying to be safe. But I don't know. If you really view the Mass for what it is, as the highest form of worship that we can give to God here on earth, and the worship that Jesus commanded us to do. His highest work on this earth is also the highest work that he commands us to do. And, I mean, by golly, we ought to be doing it the right way, the best way we know how. Giving the due reverence to our Lord in offering it the right way. Well, that's saying no to the music, forbidding people to receive on the hand, having this outside like some Protestant gathering, some Protestant meal, really takes away from the solemnity of the Mass, and it's so distracting. It's not conducive to meditation. I think a Catholic that really appreciates what we're doing at Mass is going to take it as more than just some little safety precaution. We've got bishops that are trying to protect our bodies, supposedly. But these men are in charge of our souls. They're shepherding our souls. And the souls matter more than the bodies. So, making the sacraments less accessible and kind of tampering with the form that they're occurring under is very, very concerning to me. Idaho doesn't have that issue, and quite nearly as bad. There's a lot of... That's the spiritual difference between the two, which is the biggest one. But there's a lot of politics, too, that are not even worth getting into. It's still a very partisan climate in Idaho, but at least it's the one that aligns with our beliefs more closely than the other. So we at least won't have as much opposition. I'll be in good company. I would love to present my kids with the proper example instead of the via negativa. You know, left and right around here, we've got instances of the absence of the moral law, and it's certainly not the preferred way to teach your children about what the moral law is, by pointing at something else and saying, this is what it's not, this is what the absence of the natural law or moral law actually leads us to. It would be nice to actually look at good examples in society where they can exist. So, interesting. little tidbit of information, numbers guy here. Our realtor Oscar tells me that we sold the house for the highest cost per square foot that he's ever higher than he's ever gone before. $392 per square foot for our home. And I think the cost per square foot on the one before that was like $12 or $15 per square foot less. So, needless to say, we're all very pleased with how the sale has been going. The home that we're placing an offer on, $171 per square foot, $177, somewhere there, $175 per square foot. So we're getting literally twice more per square foot, and then some, over what we're expecting to pay out in Idaho. So, one of those funny things. So, yeah, I'm very confident that we're making the right long-term decision for our family and for the well-being of our kids as they grow into adults. They're not all formed yet. They've got a lot of formation left. And yeah, like I said, I want them to be able to thrive and not just learn by means of persecution. And I really think there's going to certainly be opportunities to not invite persecution upon ourselves, but I really think that, we're not moving to utopia yet. There's going to be challenges, and there's going to be things that I can point to and say, well, this is how we're different as Catholics. So, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting rest of the year. I really think that the crescendo is yet to come. I'm not sure how much the election is really going to factor into it. It's not really a big thing in my mind because our plan is set either way. I'm sure it'll affect a lot of other people more than us, but we're just going to be moving either way. Sure is pretty. Probably start posting these. Can't make them public because my employer doesn't know yet. I don't think they need to know yet. So I can still work. Get my work done. We're also 1 month away from having the baby. And things are going well. Kate's healthy. She's ailing because third trimester stuff, but the baby's healthy, I should say. Kate is not unhealthy. Ooh, speaking of chickens, Hannah has expressed interest in getting some chickens at our new property, and we may well do that. I've been interested in it for a while. I think the rabbits have been a good primer for caring for chickens. I think chickens are a little more investment of time with a little bit, sort of a different sort of payout. Not just cute points, but you get some eggs and potentially some meat in the end. So, yeah, we've been kicking some ideas around. A lot's going to change. I think there's going to be less that won't change versus what's coming, what change is coming. And we're all excited. So with that, I'm going to get back on the road and bike home. Hope the wind is with me this time. It was against me coming out, so see if I can whip it home.